have a concept. You have a great concept. You guys are doing it, man. And it's an honor for me to just be, a small rock, man, in your mountain. I'm going to pop a top in your honor.
Mr. Doc Walker blessed us with his presence and knowledge.
We want to welcome in our next special guest, Haley Skarupa. She's a three-time world champion in women's ice hockey and most recently won Olympic gold with Team USA.
The Cap Stadium Series is definitely my favorite, obviously. I'm a huge Caps fan, I always have been, and to be there at that game with my teammates and for us to bring, our gold medals to there and share it with everyone in this area was really, really special for me, and just the support and it's been tremendous from everyone in this area, and you can feel that there at that game.
Welcome to Sports on the Hill podcast. Hashtag DC Sports Without the Politics with Carol and Robbie on True Radio Network.
And welcome to episode 395 of Sports on the Hill podcast. I'm joined with Anna and Janaea, and I think we got Gil on the line here too. His camera isn't working quite yet, but I'm excited. We've got a fun show ahead of us. It's our fall season finale. Caps have kind of unfortunately lost the last two games, but we'll break that down. Also preview the upcoming bunch of games that are coming out. We got 2 weeks of games because this, again, is the finale. We won't come back until the new year, so we'll just go ahead and look at the schedule coming up and give our thoughts on the state of the Capitals. I know not quite halfway through the season, but it's kind of that big break going into that lull time for hockey a little bit. So we'll see how the Caps are able to do. We're also watching a Monday Night Football game of the Steelers versus the Dolphins. If you are a Ravens fan like myself, we're rooting for the Dolphins because they are... the Steelers right now are in the number one in the division, but if they lose this game, then they'll be in a tie. So anyway, so we'll root for the Dolphins, who are currently up 3-0 with 1:46 left in the first half in that one. In hour two, we're actually going to have a big wrestling segment. Champ is going to be on. It's cool where the Capitals play. Capital One Arena hosted John Cena's last match ever, and so he will be breaking down going to that. And I'm so happy. I really wanted him to be able to go to this epic occasion. We've been previewing it for months, and he actually was able to go and be in the box at Cap One Arena, and we've got a vlog that we're going to debut live on this, that we're going to watch it all together on the show, and he'll, in the vlog, showcase his view and some of the stuff that he saw, and then he'll be able to walk us through that as well. So that'll be kind of a cool start to hour two. We'll talk about that with Sith as well, his co-host from the No Spots podcast, and been on our show for 10 seasons as well. And then after that, we'll talk about the Commanders and the Ravens. They actually won a game. They haven't won a game on the same week in, at least 8 weeks. So, I'm excited about that. We'll talk about that. And then the Wizards won a game yesterday. They actually were up in a bunch of games this week, blew a lot of leads, but this one they held on to. So we'll talk about... that's the rule, Janaea. The Wizards have to win at least one game for us to talk about them on the podcast. It's a threshold. This week they did it. They got their one. So we'll talk about that as well. We'll also preview coming attractions of the NFL for next week, and we'll also do a little bit of a rewind and talk about some of the big games from this week as well. And then we'll wrap up the fall season, and it should be good. All right, Gil, I just want to make sure, are you still with us?
Well, you know how I like to make an entrance.
Okay, I'm nervous.
Oh, God. Yeah.
It's fantastic. You can't wrap up and take them anywhere.
This is why we don't go on video. Because I can't.
There you go. All right. Well, let's get into the week that was. Well, first of all, I'm going to introduce all of you guys a little bit more. Anna and Gil, obviously from the Power Play Point podcast. Gil, how are you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm feeling very jingly, naturally. Fair warning. Feel also really, really, really feeling. I got the balls going and everything. So fair warning.
Boy.
Only you can.
There you go. All right, Anna, how are you doing tonight?
Well, I'm gonna say I am. Well, aside from that hat, but whatever. I just found out that my son is he's going to George Mason.
Oh,
And
congratulations.
he got a partial scholarship.
Ooh.
So I am all George Mason, go Patriots right now, which is amazing. So yeah, I'm kind of
congratulations. That's such an epic
much.
moment. And and it's cool because it's not too far away. So
It's not, and even though it was like you could live at home, we're like, no.
Right. Live there.
Go have that college experience and do you, because that's what you should do. But yeah, so we're super proud and very, very excited and quite humbled on this end with that partial scholarship. So happy to share it with everybody.
That's awesome. I'm so happy for you
Thank
and for
you.
him, and congratulations to you both and to your husband and to your whole family.
Thank you.
So that's all very, very exciting. Janaea's calling in all the way from the other side of the continent. So over in Vancouver, Janaea Talks Caps does a Capitals post-game show recap, on YouTube. And then also does a podcast of her own. I want to congratulate both of you guys. Gil, your podcast has now reached 300. Janaea, you're over 100 now. It's a pretty cool thing to see. So congratulations on both of the podcasts and both of the success and people really following a lot of what you guys are doing now. And it's exciting to have been a fan of your guys at the ground root and to see it grow over time. And so it's pretty cool stuff. But Janaea, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. Yeah, over here on the West Coast, the weather's good. You can still walk around in flip-flops for the most part. It's
so jealous.
Yes.
Maybe not quite as
It's currently 19 degrees outside when I had to go grab the power cable. So, 19
and that's 19 Fahrenheit, right?
Right,
So
exactly.
here,
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm maybe not quite as festive as Gil over there, but it's nice being in the Christmas spirit. Happy Hanukkah to you as well, Robbie.
Thank you.
It's just a good time. I know Anna and I were just talking off air. She's got a couple of weeks off coming up, and just so many great things about the holidays. So
yeah, the three of us actually all work for schools, so we all get. Gil, do you get the 2 weeks? I assume.
Oh
you
yeah.
get,
Oh yeah. We're not back till you come back for the show. So
right.
My first day back is when we come back for the show on the 5th. So
me too. Yeah, so all of us are. So that'll be fun to come back together, and it'll be a live duck hunting show. So so that'll be fun for a whole lot of reasons to catch the end of that game live. But yeah, no, it's crazy. By the way, I looked it up. It's -7 degrees Celsius, just to give you a comparison over there, Janaea.
No, I do not do this type of weather. No.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's brutal. By the way, I am going to Grand Cayman doing scuba documentaries. I will be in flip-flops very shortly. So I am very excited about that. So, all right, well, let's rip the Band-Aid off of this. We'll have time to give shout-outs to the podcast at the very end of the hockey segment. But let me see. Everything, behind the scenes while I'm doing this, everything got messed up right before we went live on air. But luckily, I was able to save it with enough time to start the show only 10 minutes late. So, we'll take it as a victory. Unfortunately, the Caps don't have many victories. And in fact, this game, they were very close to having a victory, but did not. So we'll start off with Connor McMichael scoring first for the Capitals, and Gil, I'll let you take it from there.
Okay, so great play here. Let's see. It's Sandin throws it out to Ovi, who hits it at the blue line, hits Connor McMichael streaking in, and he scores. And since Ovi has been so giving,
Nice.
Oh, gal.
I like it. He needed to jazz it up a little bit. We'd only have 3 goals. Some weeks Gil has like 15 to work on, so he doesn't have time to give us visuals. So I'll take it. That was a very scary Caps Christmas when they did that whole segment. I remember that. But yeah, I mean, great play. Here, Connor McMichael sort of setting up his own play in some ways. And then coming down and on the flank, and his speed really made that play. And obviously, Ovechkin had a great pass. So, Janae, what were some of your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I love the pass, first of all. Like, it was just a slick little pass into space so that McMichael could just skate onto it. And I thought that was a great play. And then obviously Mikey's got the wheels to do that. So it was a great start to the game, at least on the scoreboard. I believe they were being outshot like 15-5 or something like that at the time that McMichael got this goal. So it was maybe a little bit undeserved, but yeah, big players making big plays. And it was a great goal to at least put them ahead, even if it was short-lived.
Yeah, and this was a battle for kind of first place in the Metro. Both these teams were pretty dead even in the standings coming into it. I think the Caps were up by 1 point coming into it, but we knew this was going to be a tough matchup. We only, I believe, have one more game against Carolina this whole season after this one. Anna, what were some of your thoughts on this first goal by Connor McMichael?
No, I was glad to see McMichael score. Always, I think it helps boost his confidence, and it's amazing. Good way to start. Fantastic pass, but I will tell you, I don't know. I wanted more when the team came out on the ice, and they didn't show quite the passion. I know this is like 5 minutes in, but they just didn't look at like we're given 100% as much as when Carolina came out, unfortunately.
I feel like they were kind of on fumes coming off of this crazy stretch that they had to come, and then they get this break. They get 2 days off in a row where you see them in the locker room celebrating that as like found gold, so you knew how dog tired they are when they celebrate for 2 days off in a row like that, right? And so then it's hard to get the motor going again against such a tough opponent, and so I think you saw a little bit of that in this game.
I was really hoping, because it's Carolina, who I figure like now is like the number one enemy. They're to come out. I wanted them to come out hot. I wanted them to, even if they had 4 days off, like whatever it was. But man, it just was like watching the other team come out and their shots on goal, and then us. It was sad. It was just not, they weren't into it. And then by the time they were, it was that too little too late. So this was a frustrating game to kick off the week for sure.
Yeah, I think that our goalie kept us in this for the most part. It would have been a brutal game, if for most goalies, and so I'm happy that he had one. So they ended up tying it, and then we take the lead on a Nick Dowd goal, and I'll let Gil break this one down.
So McMichael and Sandin hook up again. Great forecheck to start it by Dowd. McMichael picks it up, cross ice to Sandin, who throws it at the net, hits Dowd for the tip in, and 2-1 Caps.
Yeah, so...
And you're going to want to run this through because there's great reaction here.
This is my favorite part of the... Thank you, Gil.
The highlight of the game, honestly, was Dowd's goal
celebration. Yes,
100%. Because, even like I said on our podcast yesterday, I felt like as soon as we saw him with that "fuck yeah" and like that infectious, like I was like, "Yeah, we got this! Like, let's go!" I really felt it. Like he got like to the core. Like he just got me off the couch and was like, "Yeah, let's go."
I was fired up after that goal. He got the whole entire crowd fired up. Everybody, 100%. And it was such a shame that we had such a good game up until the end, and we let them tie it, and then it goes to this crazy back and forth overtime. That was actually very exciting. I'm still on the mindset that we need to have longer overtime and just allow for the tie and just be done with it. Like, we were finding ties for decades. I don't understand why we need to be giving a point away for some other gimmick that's not hockey. I mean, it's entertaining, but it just doesn't seem to be a fair way to decide. Or like, why do they need to give away a second point?
Is it entertaining though? Like,
not for us, but I hear for some teams it is, and it was for a time when we had a TJ Oshie on our team and the Paralyzer, and and 92, and so like we've had some success and some interesting stuff, but overall I think it's a gimmick. I mean, we've talked about it almost ad nauseum, but like it's frustrating because I think you should find some sort of other gimmick, maybe 2 5-minute periods, and then it's going to be a tie if no one does it, and then maybe in the second 5-minute period you take away the thing where you if you get scored in an empty net goal that it takes away the standing point. Because that right now is limiting people from taking the risk, right? And so, I don't know. In other leagues, they
could even go from they could go from 3-on-3, do a 5-minute 3-on-3, then a 5-minute 2-on-2, then a 5-minute.
I was thinking you could even do it increased numbers, something like crazy. So you start 3-on-3, the second one's less time, 4 minutes of 4-on-4, then you go 3 minutes of 5-on-5, and then 2 minutes of 6-on-6. Just go crazy, and then 1 minute of 7-on-7, and if nothing happens, it's a tie. I think that would be just as entertaining and honestly closer to real hockey than what we're talking about. So
yeah, or for the second, you do the first overtime, and then for the second one, blindfold all of them.
We could come up with something.
Shootout at this point, and I know I sound like I am being salty because we suck at shootouts, but I'm just over it. I just don't want to watch it anymore. It's brutal.
Everyone I talk to, every single Caps fan, just marked it as a loss the second the shootout started, and they're like, "We'll watch it, but it's a loss now," and that's a terrible feeling. But yeah, I thought. Some bad play was masked by the goaltending, but then some great play in the overtime period. And there was some really exciting moments in this game for sure, both ways. But then the shootout ruins kind of a overall good game. That's what I think is what's in sync with is that
too little, too late.
Yeah.
I mean that's just and especially when Carolina's going to come in hot. They're going to come 110%,
at least we didn't have a 7-minute review during a shootout at 1:30 in the morning. So it could be worse. There's worse moments to prolong the agony. So it's.
This is something interesting that Anna just said though, because I've noticed that every time that the Caps and the Hurricanes play, I don't know if this is just me who feels this way, but I feel like the Hurricanes think of us as their biggest rival, and they get 100%. They get so up to play against us, they want to beat us more than anything. And I just don't feel like the Caps players feel that way about the Hurricanes. You see the way that the Caps come out against the Penguins, for example, or the Rangers. They hate them. They want to beat them. I just don't think that they've gotten to that point yet with the Hurricanes, which is crazy to say because they faced them in the playoffs last year. You would think that you would have kind of built at least some of that up, but I feel like it's just not quite there on the Caps part yet. Whereas
though,
see us
I feel like it's getting there though, because I think they are quite the menace.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
the players are freaking annoying, and I feel like it's just going to be let's go. And
we've played them for so long in a division. Metro the whole time. They're the only team that moved over from the Southeast Division with us, right? So, you would think that it should have built up into something more by now, but I agree with you. In fact, I actually thought of them as a bigger rival in the Southeast Division than I do now in the Metro. I can't really explain that, but I think it's because they added Pittsburgh and Philly back in, and they were no, that was our core rivals from even before any of us, well, not any of us, but before a lot of us were following. Gil's been following them, back when they were in it was the Patrick Division, right? Yeah, and so I can't say that I followed them in that division. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. In '98, was the Southeast already established, or was it?
Yeah, I think that was actually the first year, one of the first years.
Yeah, so I think that's when the Southeast Division was formed. Was pretty much when my fandom started, right around that time. So I really didn't know the Patrick Division, other than I've always hated Pittsburgh because they were a thorn in our side in every playoff game I've ever gone to, right? So, their playoff dominance over us, even though obviously they weren't in the Southeast, was pretty awful in the 90s and 2000s.
But I don't know. I still feel like when we play them, I have a huge hatred
Oh yeah.
towards
No, I agree with
huge.
you.
And it's like I can't stand Brenda Moore. I can't stand Aho. Like there's all these things about them that I'm like I could see how they become quite hated for us. But yeah, we just need to get the Caps on board to say like, yeah, like let's fucking go. Like no, enough of this team.
You
Yeah,
can see
did
it
one time, but just not
the
this
weird thing
time.
for me is that like when you watch the Caps play against like Pittsburgh, for example, or the Rangers, like the Caps are such a physical team. Like they're a massive team. Like they have
Yeah.
all big, strong guys. Like that's a real advantage that they have over the Hurricanes. And when you watch them play the Hurricanes, they just don't do it. Like they're not throwing any hits. And it was the same thing in the playoffs last season. Like I was yelling at my TV constantly throughout that series, like just hit them. And they weren't doing it. Like it just, I don't know why they can't seem to get up for the games against this team. But yeah, I really wish that like they would kind of match what us fans feel towards the Hurricanes. And
agreed.
Just get a little bit more hatred in there, because I feel like right now that's the biggest difference in the rivalry is that the Hurricanes think it's a rivalry and the Caps don't seem to.
Yeah, we're a little 70-30 on that.
Yeah. So anyway, I want to thank people. I haven't really been talking about chat, but I really do appreciate everyone in there, from Dan to Dreaming Truth. My dad's in chat also. I've got other friends, including Willie Sand Music. So thank you, everyone, for watching along and being a part of the stream today. I know I haven't really talked. I had a bunch of technical difficulties at the beginning, and I did not do my normal hellos because I was trying to get into it. But I do appreciate all you guys watching live and engaging with chat. My dad was talking about the moment when I got into college in chat while you were talking about yours. So it's a big moment for a whole family. So I think that is pretty cool. But anyways, I just wanted to thank all of our viewers across all the different platforms. Again, we are on YouTube, also on Facebook and Twitch. And I don't think we're live on Kick tonight, but I'm not sure. It's been up and down for sure. But anyway, thank you to all the fans across all the different things. And so let's get into the next game. I mean, we only have 2 to get through, but the next one, we only have 1 goal to speak of, and unfortunately, we already had 5 goals against before we talk about that first goal. So that's never a good sign in the course of a game. 1 or 2 before our first one, we can work on that, but yeah, when it's already 5-0 before, there's not a whole lot positive to say. It was a power play goal, so that's good. But yeah, we just, I don't know. It was a rough game against the Jets for sure. Just didn't feel like we were in it at any time. There was some amount of energy early on, but I feel like it started to dissipate once it was 2-0 against. And I don't know. I want to get your guys' thoughts on it, because then we'll get in the power play. We're going to do it reverse, because it doesn't really make sense to talk about because this happens at the very end. But Janae, what were your thoughts on the energy in this game and the overall feel for you?
Yeah, I mean, woohoo, a 5-on-3 goal when it's already 5-0, like big whoop. Like it just, the first period in this game to me was awful. Like I just was talking about it on the post-game reaction video that I did. Like it was just like, I mean, honestly, like if we were to put in the same amount of effort to this show that the Caps put into that first period, like we wouldn't even be doing this podcast right now. Like just stay home. Like it was brutal. They had 3 shots on net in the first period. They were outshot 13-3, and the Caps had the only 2 power plays in the first period, and they generated a whopping 3 shots on net. Like
their only shots. They had no 5-on-5 shots. 0.
Yeah, they just weren't there. They weren't ready. They were asleep through the first 20 minutes. They played a lot better, obviously, through the next 40 minutes, at least like shots on goal wise, although they couldn't really get anything past Connor Hellebuck in his return. But I mean, it was just the first period put them behind the 8 ball right from the get-go, and they just could never really get going after that. Not enough, like I said, to get anything past Hellebuck. So it was a brutal watch. It was really frustrating. I ended up fast forwarding a lot of it because it was just like I had it on the PVR.
I turned it off. I even talked to Gil about it. I really hate doing that. You know, we talk about it weekly. I kind of, not my job, but I kind of make it my job to watch all the games to their completion so I can correctly analyze it. But like, you knew 40 minutes in they didn't have it. You know, like I just there was nothing about that second period. Well, no, I agree, but I gave them an extra 20 for some reason, and they didn't show a whole lot. It would have taken a phenomenal comeback, and I would have regretted it, but I would have seen it later. But like, I don't know. It was just, it's hard to put effort into watching them when the first 40 looked that bad. Gil, what are some of your thoughts?
You talk about the energy. Let me say this. If you took a housefly and you built a bicycle for the housefly, where one of those bicycles that in those greenhouses that powers the whole place, that fly riding a bicycle for a minute would have generated 10 times more energy than the Caps did in the entire 60 minutes of this game. Good God, I have never seen such an abomination in all my life, and I've sat through some horrible games, but this was awful.
Yeah, it was really bad. And it was interesting because they still generated power plays, and I was like, oh, you know, and if they had converted on them, I think it would have maybe been a different story, right, in this. But, like, they were generating power plays and still doing nothing with them until they had to, again, get a 5-on-3 before they did something with it. Like, I mean, that was kind of like a gift from Winnipeg.
And they almost gave that one away until...
Yeah. Well, we'll roll the tape. I'll let Gil get
okay. So before you start it, pause it real quick.
There's instructions, right?
So, right. So, when the goal hits, pause it again because I tacked on a special thing at the end.
Okay, got it.
This being before the holiday. So when the goal hits, make sure you pause it.
All right.
Because I don't want to spill over into that and loop. Okay. So go ahead and roll it.
Okay. Hold on. Sorry.
Don't mess it up, Robbie.
I know. There's a lot of pressure.
A lot of pressure.
Okay. So Caps are cycling here. It's Tom Wilson in front of the net, shoots it to Ovechkin, back to the point for Karlsson. He gets it to Chychrun, who fires it in the net and goal. Classic cycle. 5-on-3. Yeah. Guess what? You're supposed to score on a 5-on-3.
Yeah, because I mean, eventually you should have 2 open guys. You would hope.
It's like I said, it's 5-0. There's like 3.5, like woohoo, golf clap. Like,
exactly. I said I don't even know if I can give a courtesy clap to this because it's so cringe.
Yeah. I'm happy for him. I can't believe he has 12 goals on the season. That is remarkable.
But again, like shitty power play statistic is going to kind of wash out the fact, that this is Chychrun Strauss because they
look at these guys. 17th assist, 18th assist, so
it's like, what the hell though? I mean,
where was this 16:32 into the third period?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Oy.
I will say that based on how the power play looked for most of the season up until they put Ryan Leonard onto the first unit and how it has looked now again since he's been out injured, that guy should make $100 million a year for how different the power play looks with him on it, because it has been awful before and after.
Yeah.
Around him being on it for those, I don't know what it was, 7 or 8 games before he got injured.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we need fresh look. I mean, same kind of thing in the shootout too. You need a fresh, everything, and it's, yeah. Anyway, we don't have to talk about it too much longer. I think we can. I'd rather spend the rest of today's podcast talking about coming forward and what we should do going forward and our thoughts on that. Because there's not a whole lot more to say about that game. And I'm going to switch our.
Did you guys see though about the?
Oh, you killed.
The final thing, the Gil thing. God damn it! I've already forgotten. All right, hold on. I will get it back. Hold on. I knew I was so bummed with it that okay. All right, hold on. Is this working?
Oh, this will hopefully unbum everybody.
Yeah. All right. Good. All right. Yeah. All right. We got. Let me see. We got audio.
Okay. So yeah, just go ahead and let it roll.
I love it. There you go. Well, we can keep.
Anna's not impressed. Naturally.
I don't know. I don't know what I was expecting, but I don't know. I'd like a full Monty Caps thing or something, but
Yeah. I don't know.
all good.
Yeah. No.
Good job, Gil.
Yeah, good job, Gil. I appreciate it. No, it did give me a smile, so I appreciate that. I needed that. But like, I do. I hope that everyone has a great holiday season. It is. It's been fun to cover this team, and I mean, as bummed and as disappointed as a 1-1 week is, like before that, in a month, we'd only lost one game in regulation. I mean, so like we have been spoiled in the last 4 weeks, with the Caps and playing. So they're down to have a bad week every once in a while. And I think that's why I really just want to look at the upcoming schedule, and we can just talk about what our thoughts are and what they need to do to sort of correct this. Because how long is Ryan Leonard out for expected, Gil? Do you remember?
The announcement was 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And so the extent of the injury was, as I understand it, some facial lacerations, which last time I looked, the face was part of the head. So I'll leave that at that. But mainly it's the shoulder that they're concerned about. And but some good news on that front. He was in a sling for, I want to say, maybe the first couple of days, but then you saw him at a Wizards game with Pierre-Luc Dubois, who's also on the IR, and he was without sling. So I guess that's a good sign, or it could have been that, as Mrs. Blue Liner informed me, being in a sling ain't exactly all that comfortable and fun. So sometimes you take yourself out of that thing. So it could have been that. But the fact that we've seen him already without the sling in a lot of shots in public is probably a good sign. So and he's young, so it would not surprise me if he tried to come back maybe in the next 2 weeks. So maybe mid to late January, we might see him, but I think the smart play would be to let that run its course. So we probably will not see him until either just before the Olympic break or right after that.
Damn it. Pittsburgh just scored a touchdown. Sorry.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So
I got it on too.
Yeah, 11:20 left. Now it's a 14-3 lead. Still a lot of time. So hopefully Miami's offense will wake up and they'll score on this drive.
On the bright side, the Rangers lost another one at home to Anaheim.
Yeah, I don't understand that, but also Pittsburgh constantly having 3-goal leads and being able to cough them up in the third is astounding to me.
They've been doing more blowing than a lawn tool.
Right, yeah, it was woof. Some really bad losses.
3-goal third period leads back to, one was a 4-goal lead, 5-1 in the third period with I think it came down to there was 12 minutes left and they were up 5-1. And
I think there was another one the week before too, and they've lost every shootout. So I mean, we can relate to that, but it's been, it's been bad for them, So
Robbie, you'll love this. I thought I heard something where it was the first time that even any two teams, let alone one team, blew on back-to-back days 2 3-goal leads in 24 hours.
Wow.
Let
alone two teams, just one team that did this. It's never happened with 2 teams on 2 different days.
Wow. Yeah, it's crazy stuff. All right, let's do the week ahead. We got Minnesota. We're going to go to Minnesota. Their goaltending is phenomenal right now. I'm going to go run through all of them, and then I'm going to get your guys' thoughts on. You guys can each pick a game or two that you want to talk about. So at Minnesota, 8 o'clock, that's Tuesday if you're not listening to us live. So that'll be a really tough game. Again, good goaltending. And then Thursday, we play Toronto. This one's in Washington. Toronto's in like a free fall right now. They're able to beat teams like Pittsburgh, but not a whole lot of other teams. And then we have a home and home against Detroit Red Wings. We haven't had one of those in a while. So that'll be on the 20th and 21st. It's a back-to-back days. The first one on Saturday is 12:30 in Washington, and then the 1 o'clock in Detroit the next day on Sunday, and then another Tuesday game, the 23rd, against the aforementioned Rangers, 7 p.m. Puck drop for that one, and then Saturday they go to the Devils at 7 p.m., and then Monday the 29th, since we won't have a podcast on, you can watch some Caps hockey. They're at Florida for that one. It's a 7 p.m. start. Wednesday the 31st, New Year's Eve, it's a 12:30 start against the Rangers. My guess is that's got to be on. I'm surprised. I thought that would be like a nationally televised something. But that's not. You can get it on Monumental or ESPN, and ESPN Plus that is. And then Thursday the 1st. So we do have a back-to-back again. That's brutal on New Year's Eve and New Year's. It's a 1 o'clock start.
Start the new year, eh?
Right, exactly. In Canada, Ottawa, and then so it's the Battle of the Capitals there. And then on Saturday, the 3rd, we play against Chicago in Chicago. Oh no, sorry, that's a home game. We play against Chicago at home. Starts a homestand at 7 o'clock, and then on Monday we'll be live back on the podcast and talking Ducks. In that one, so tough schedule. Not some easy, some tough teams in there. Nobody is a cakewalk in that, and even the easier teams, there's a lot of back-to-backs, and so always rough for sure. I'll start off with you, Anna. What is your takeaway from the upcoming 2 weeks?
Oh, it's going to be rough. I do. I'm looking at it. I do think if we could beat Minnesota, take Toronto, and even if it's like a 1-2 at the Detroit games, we're in a good headspace. Because I think the other teams are like, holy fuck. Devils, and anytime we have to play an afternoon game, it's always a concern on this end. So I just think that I don't know. It's hard when we come off a week like this where they did so terribly and we're so frustrated with them. But then I think, okay, our leadership and like the Ovi and Wilson leadership and opinions and kick-ass statements, whatever we hope there's happening in the locker room, is going to mean something, that these guys are really going to come out and be like, okay, this was a shit week. Let's, mark it like, okay, it sucked and let's move on. But Gil and I talked yesterday about Carberry saying, like, this is the last straw with the shootout. What is, okay. So
what are we gonna do now?
Yeah. So like, what's the big?
This is what I was gonna ask you guys. Did you guys see today that he said he might start considering, at least for the time being, pulling the goalie in overtime?
Exactly. Which is crazy because we would relinquish a point.
But we know we're gonna relinquish a point when we go to the shootout.
No, we relinquish the other point. NHL rules state if you pull your goalie in overtime and they score, you lose the overtime point. So now you're relinquishing 2 points. I don't know. That's, which by the way, we're the only league that does that. Yeah. All the other ones, the KHL, don't do that because they want to encourage teams to maybe try that out. And the NHL's like,
obviously we don't want to go the shootout, but it's like our whole thing right now is like, all right, who to gamble on?
Yeah.
You know,
I
who's in
think
the lineup.
you just take the point that you've got by going to overtime, and like you kind of have to go to the shootout because you have to eventually figure this out. Like you
Right.
can't just avoid shootouts from now until the end of time. Like you
Exactly.
have to.
But it's like, honestly, if they were like, okay, Genie in a bottle, Janaea, who would you put out there? Um, I don't have, like, you know, we don't have the Oshi, we don't have the koozie, you know, kind of thing. And it's like, so who do you ride? Like, I kind of feel confident in Strom, and then I'm like, okay, but who else is the other ones that you think are like a sure thing?
I'd like to see them use, and I know he wasn't in the lineup for a lot of the shootouts that they've had so far. He shot in the last one, but I'd like to see them try Milano more because he's got some silky mitts for sure.
Yeah.
Um, I would have loved to have seen them use Ryan Leonard more, but he's obviously out now with injury. Maybe McMichael, like I don't know, like it's just they don't have a lot of guys who like that's what they're known for.
Yeah. Like I
They
would
have
have loved to see
guys.
Pro like use his size.
Mhm.
Like do something.
Or
But
if you need to use Ovechkin, but don't use him like you've been using him, just have him tee it off from like from the middle, like just do a 107-mile-per-hour slap shot and see like stop this and see what happens.
him and
Like
Carlson.
I literally think Ovechkin should just come down for the shootout, just curl over to the left circle and just uncork it.
okay,
and just,
yeah, just from his normal shot.
My best versus your best. Let's see you try to stop this because you can't during the game. You can't during 5-on-5. You can't on the power.
So I kind of agree. I'm like, why are you trying to dangle? That's not your game anymore. Maybe a little bit early on, but like, let's just see what a slapper could do, right? I mean, at this point, you know, it's probably better than what we've got. So
and I feel so bad for him that he seems to get blamed by fans every single time that we lose a shootout. And it's like, first of all, he's not the one putting himself out there. Second of all, no one else is scoring either. Like it's not just him.
Yeah.
Like,
I think people just expect him to be on all the time, and it's like it's not fair. But it's like, but who else could we have, you know, put in that position? Because I feel like right now we're just grabbing at straws. We're just like maybe you. How about you?
I'd even maybe try Chikrin like with his shot, like not for a deke, but just to try to rip it. Like they've got to try something different. I know using a defenseman's not exactly conventional, but like there's just the guys that they're using, it's not working.
Point?
Yeah, it's just.
I remember we used Mike Green probably when he was here, right?
We used him a little bit, yeah. And the Penguins have used Chris Letang a lot. Like there's some guys who can do it, but you never know until you put them in there, right? And so that's why I'm saying like you also can't. Like, I get how frustrated Carberry is with this, but it's like, I don't want to relinquish the point by, you know, pulling the goaltender. Like, at least you got the 1 point. That's way better than no points. And second of all, like, you've got to figure this out eventually. So you can definitely be more, I think they should be a lot more aggressive in overtime. Like, not all this circling back and like waiting and seeing, you know, being patient, all that garbage that we see every team do in 3-on-3. Like, I think they suck so bad at shootouts that they should be going like, balls really to hard. The wall.
I do think that they do show some considerable effort in the shootout. In fact, often more, or not in the shootout, in the overtime, more so than I see in some of the games, to be totally honest. I do see what you're saying, though, just overall. There's a lot to be desired, you know, with these games. And but I also relinquishing that extra player to go 4-on-3, like our power play sucks, right? So like I can't.
That needs to be the biggest priority right now.
If the power play was better, then we wouldn't even get into the overtime situation. But I'm not taking the risk in overtime when it's not playing well. Yeah, with a goalie behind it.
Yeah. Can you imagine other teams when we're doing that? We're like, we're going to pull our goalie in overtime. So here comes our vaunted 14% effective power play. Look out.
Watch out.
Coach is going to be laughing his ass off on the other bench.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you pretty much are going to have to put two defenders back there, right? Like the only way I see that even working is if you put like John Carlson and Jacob Chikrin out there with two forwards, as your four-man unit. Because someone's going to have to play some sort of semblance of defense.
But holy shit, like after 60 minutes, like it's just, I don't know. Like, no, I think the team priority mentally needs to be on the power play. because the shootout luckily doesn't happen as often, but when it does, it's like, okay, that sucks.
And it's not going to happen in the playoffs.
Yeah, but my God, the power play needs to. That's where we really need to focus and tighten up with everything. Hopefully.
Well, for time purposes, I think we're going to wrap it up here with our Caps Talk segment.
Yeah.
But Janaea, let people know, I'm going to start off with you about where to find all of your awesome stuff and any final thoughts before we let you go.
Yeah, you can find me under the same name that I have here on Zoom, Janaea Talks Caps. You can find, I have the Facebook page, Janaea Talks Caps, and then I have the YouTube channel as well under the same name, just Janaea Talks Caps on YouTube. So I've got the podcast on there, and then I do the post-game reaction videos after every Capitals game as well. I will be a little bit late with the one against the Wild on Tuesday because I'm going to the PWHL game, Vancouver Golden Knights. So that's on, I think that starts at 7 p.m. my time here, whereas the Cap starts, I think, at 5 p.m. So I'll be late watching that one. I'll have to PVR it. But yeah, in general, I try to get those up usually pretty quickly after the game or the next day for the post-game reaction videos. So we have a lot of fun with those, just reacting to the games that just happened. And then, yeah, the podcast is once a week as well.
So can you tell the Americans, what does PVR stand for? Because we call it DVR here. So what does the P stand for? Do you know?
think it stands for personal video recorder.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. I always hear you talk about it. I'm like, oh, I wonder what that stands for. So
they have a DVR as well. So they're two different things. Like the ones that we call a DVR are like the ones where it's just recording like to that one box, like for that one room. Mm-hmm. And then a PVR is like a more expensive thing that you record it on there, but then it's like it's in the cloud and you can play it on any TV that has one of the DVRs. If that makes sense. You guys are looking at me. Like,
so it's more like cloud? Is that what we're thinking? Yeah.
Yeah, like it records it to the cloud and then you can watch it in any room. So that's
Got it. I guess that's technically what I have. They just call everything DVR here. We don't differentiate, but that's cool. Anyway, I always wanted to ask you that. I always hear it on the podcast. I'm like, oh, and here's my opportunity. So, awesome. Well, Janaea, I love your post game reacts, and I love your podcast as well, and also your over 12 years of friendship that we've had on Facebook here, Talking Caps. So, it's been a lot of fun, and I hope that you have a wonderful holiday season and a happy New Year, and hopefully we'll get you back on more shows in the new year.
For sure. Thank you so much for having me again.
Yeah, sounds good.
Have a good holiday.
Yes.
You guys too. Have fun with all of your time off.
Yeah.
We will. All right, Anna, final thoughts before we let you go.
No, it just 2025. I no complaints here. Ready for 2026 though. So looking forward to all the, oh my gosh, like I'm gonna have a college freshman.
That's wild.
Holy shit. And then my daughter will be a sophomore in high school. So like yeah, the grays are.
Well, it's the final days or months of you having two kids in high school, So it's kind of a cool thing.
It's gonna be huge. It's gonna be huge. So I'm looking forward to it. And I'm excited with the Capitals. I think they're keeping us on our toes, and I love that. So,
and what a fun time of year! I mean, all of the whole entire division is so close, which makes every game so exciting. So I obviously want to win all the games, but I like the level of competition that's also happening around the NHL, and I think it's good for the game. And
100%.
You can do with the Penguins falling down the stands.
Yeah, yes, that's okay. And they have been a lot. So, we can celebrate
in Carolina.
Exactly.
So, no, that's great. And Robbie, I hope you had a fantastic birthday. And I am so excited to see your Grand Cayman videos. That is so amazing that we get to see these. For the last, how long have you guys been going?
I know this will be our 6th year of me documenting these. So would have been 8, but COVID. But I will take 6, and I'm very excited to get out of this cold weather.
When do you leave?
We leave Saturday morning at 3 a.m. So with 2 kids. So that'll be
everyone will be happy.
Exactly. So they're actually good travelers, so I'm lucky. So but thank you so much for everything, Anna. I look forward having you back on, and we'll go duck hunting in the new year.
Yes.
Yeah.
You said January 5th?
Yes.
Yep.
So
Bring it.
yeah, exactly.
Awesome. Well, have a great holiday. Happy Hanukkah.
Thank you.
Everybody else, just be happy, healthy, and safe.
If
And
people missed the video, the kids, by the way, did get more socks tonight. I didn't record for on Instagram, but if you want to see the funny video from last night, they are secret. They're getting socks every night, but they're also getting something else as well. But
that's so great.
I kind of like trolling them with socks. It was pretty funny.
It's a good way to start.
Yeah, exactly. So
awesome. We'll have a great rest of the show, and oh my gosh, last 2025 show, and look forward to seeing you guys in 2026.
Yeah, look forward to it. All right, Gil, let people know what's going to be on the Power Play Point podcast before we let you go.
It's an anger management special, as in I didn't have any.
I was so proud.
Yeah, well, if you put it this way, if you like the cursing, yeah, there's a lot of it, and I think for once I outdid Anna.
Oh, wow.
In that respect. So yeah, if
like
you liked all that,
miracle.
if you're a fan of that, then buckle up, because there's a lot of it, because 2 games full of suck gets that out of Blue Liner. So yeah, so that's what you can look forward to. But on top of that, thanks again for having us. I love doing the show. And Hag Sameach to the family. Thank you, good sir, for doing this, and for good God, I if I were you, that last 5 minutes before the show, I probably would have needed some toilet paper, because all kinds of drivers reinstalling themselves. No, that's a whole lot of no bueno, as we say.
They basically moved all my files into the cloud all of a sudden and unlinked everything on my computer. And I was like, how do I undo all that? And like, thank you, ChatGPT. Shout out. I was like, this is my problem. I have 5 minutes to go on air. Give me the line by line how I fix this. Sure enough, did it, and boom. So best AI assistant you can have. So we would not have been on air without it. So
because if I had known anything, I would have been like the Homer Simpson. I've been like, press any key. What's the any key?
What's the any key? Right, exactly.
that would have been my input.
There you go. But I really appreciate all of you guys, your friendship, and the fun. Telling this Caps journey with you guys is always a lot of fun. And real quickly, Gil, are you doing shows the next 2 weeks as well, or do you take some time off?
No, we're all the way through the holiday. So yeah, there's going to be a lot more to enjoy. Hopefully, a lot less cursing on my part. With the Caps coming up with some wins and some much better play. But yeah, we're going to push on through. As always, we're looking for guests to come on, especially if you've never been on with us before. I know you're out there, and I know you want to talk Caps hockey, but so we have our open door policy. Just get a hold of Anna and or myself if you want to come on. We usually record mostly Sundays. So if you want to talk Caps hockey with us, please. It doesn't matter if you've been a fan for a week or a year or 10 years. We want to hear from you. So please, we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, Gil says this every week, but I really encourage you guys to do it. I know Janae and I have been on episodes in the past, and Anna is the co-host. So, it's a great time over there, and I hope, especially in the time that we can't be on air, that you rely on Gil and Janae's, to get you through these next 2 weeks. We're probably going to quickly go through the scores when we come back, and then just focus on the last week before, because we'll also have a live on-air game, and there's no way we can recap 10 games and a live game. It would be like a 6-hour Capital special. But we'll probably try to break it down to an hour and a half, but we'll see how that goes. But definitely rely heavily on Janae and Gil while we are on our hiatus, and we'll all come back together in the new year. But thank you guys again, once again, and with that, we will switch some gears.
Sounds good. Have a good night.
Have a good one. All right. So with that, we're going to bring in Champ and Sith. We've got a really exciting show.
Robbie, I was looking so forward to this segment, but I feel so horrible. I can't be on very long. I'm sorry. I can't. I feel the way I feel right now. I think I got the flu. My whole body hurts. Everything hurts, and it took enough just for me to get into the seat. just to do this. That's why there's the belt still sitting on my bed, not on my shoulder. I don't have no cigar. I don't have nothing. I'm like, I don't know what this is, but it's beating me down, and I still need to try to get rid of it enough that I can go into the office for the first time tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I mean, well, do you want me to run the video first? Do you want to talk first and then run the video? What do you prefer?
I could talk first and then you can run the video. I'm gonna be real quick with my thoughts. Yeah. Just if you watched it, it was one thing to watch Saturday night's main event, Cena's last match, and have that kind of energy, but to be present inside Capital One Arena was just an absolute different experience. And I have been to so many WWE events or wrestling events in general inside Capital One Arena way back when, my first one at the US Airways Arena out in Landover. And this one was, I guess, most likely because of the atmosphere, because we were in such a marvelous looking suite that had buffet style food, all the soft drinks and the beer and the wine you could drink, though I didn't touch the beer and the wine because as of today, I am
right now they got
14 months. I am 14 months sober as of today. So I wanted to make sure I maintained that. And it was a really, really cool experience. We had a really fun time just checking everything out, and then the matches were awesome. The atmosphere was awesome, and everything about it was just so fucking awesome. And this video you're getting ready to see is just a snippet, for the most part, of some of the entrances and pre-show and the opening fireworks, as well as part of the segment with R-Truth and The Miz and Joe Hendry on here. There's going to be a much longer vlog for this that'll go up on our YouTube channel, most likely next week after we do episode 313 of the podcast this Sunday. It'll go up next week. That vlog will go up next week. I will try to edit it over the weekend. Hopefully, if I'm feeling a little bit better. Like I said, I feel like absolute crap right now. But
do you think you got it going to this event? I'm sure you came in contact with a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, there was a couple kids, a few adults, and then of course my boy and his father and his brother and him and everything. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that's probably what it is. Yeah. I haven't gotten a test yet, but more than likely I'm going to contact my manager in the morning and say, yeah, I think I have COVID. I'm staying home.
Yeah. So, what I would do, just my own personal advice, there is a new test right now that's the COVID flu combo test. You take one test and it checks if you have flu A, flu B, or COVID. Take that test, because if it's flu, then you'll know also, and it only costs like $3 more than the just COVID test. So just, get the full. That's my advice. I got it the last time because I thought maybe I had COVID, and it turns out I had the flu, and it immediately popped up flu. So like it kind of can check a couple of boxes for you. So when you go to the store and get one, just look to see if they've got one that's flu and COVID. That's just it was really helpful for me a couple of months ago. So because they never had a flu one before, but now they do. So it's anyway, something to think about. But let me just play this for you, and then I'll get your quick last thoughts, and I'll let you get out of here, and then I'll talk to Sith for a minute as well about it and break it down with him, because I did enjoy watching it live with Sith. They did a great breakdown on Facebook, so with Hector, and that was wonderful as well. But let's play a little bit of this, and I'll try to get Champ out of here, and then if I have to go solo for the last segment going football, I'm down to do it. And here we go. Oh, I'm pressing the wrong button. Let me see. Is this one? There. Let's see.
What's up, everybody? It's DC's People's Champ of the No Spots Weekly Wrestling Podcast. And as you see, I'm in my CM Punk gear. And we are direct from Capital One Arena. We're in this sweet-ass suite inside Capital One Arena. Shout out here. We're in the Players Club, and it is fucking awesome. This is where we are. There are already people that are really filing in, still filing in. We are literally right above the entranceway where the wrestlers will be coming out for their entrances for the show. Right now they got the pre-show going on. The pre-show is right outside on, I believe it's on 7th Street. No, it's on F. It's right on F between 6th and 7th Street. So that's where they are right now on the side of Capital One Arena. They have it all shut down and everything. I'm looking forward to a fun night of action, 4 matches to talk about. And I can't wait to talk about it, not only on Sports on the Hill podcast, but also on No Spots podcast, our last episode for 2025. We got some pictures to check out as well, but make sure y'all check it out. And make sure y'all check it out. It should be on demand on Peacock after it's done. But I can't wait for this action to start. So catch you guys later.
Everything or simply this. He's the only one of 17. He's alone there. I think when I think about John Cena's legacy, I think his impact this generation of children, so many who are inspired to not give up, so many who are inspired to fight. I've seen
it's hardly any empty seats, and it's still less than 30 minutes to go before the show starts. This is amazing. This is awesome.
Lillian coming out and people getting in my way. Michael Cole. Commentators and ring announcer used to get a ring entrance before the show even goes on the air. Lead. Apologies for the singing. Easy loves goes for Cody. I tell you what, they were singing a lot of these songs, like Cody's song, but especially Cena's, which I'll show in the larger scale video. I knew it.
I saw what you did. I saw the footage, man. In the last time it's now tournament, you did something inappropriate with Nick on his balls. You took somebody's opportunity, and the person's opportunity you took is right here. Give me that. Joe Henry. Joe Henry. No way. Don't fuck around. I believe in Joe Henry. Stop it. I believe in Joe Henry. I believe in Joe Henry. In Paris and Tokyo, America, Scotland, and Canada, and Mexico, we say, I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry.
That's amazing.
that was just a little snippet, a little taste of what was like to be there live and in living color. I mean, the crazy part is that with the ending, everybody basically showed how much of a wrestling fan they are, or in this case, not booing the finish, chanting bullshit when it was such a beautiful finish, and then booing the hell out of Triple H and then abusing him with chants at the post show. People don't understand, because Ric Flair back in 2022 and then Sting just last year or 2 years ago went out on top, went out winners in their retirement match. So everybody figured, okay, so Cena should get that too, get the fairy tale ending. But the people, you have to look intricately into the story. He's fought for 23 years, never give up, but finally he realized it's the end of the line. It's the end of the road. The final time is now, and he just lit up a wry little smile and then tapped out. It wasn't him giving up just to be giving up. It's just he realizes that the end has arrived, and he's fought for so long that it was time to stop fighting. That kind of resonated with me, because that's how my dad was before he passed from cancer back in 2023. He fought as long as he could until finally, when we made the plan for him to come home to finish out his last days at home, he didn't want to burden my mother with that, and so he finally gave up fighting and passed away literally 2 days after we came up with a plan to bring him home for hospice. And it's the same thing. He just finally just got to a point. He was like, okay, I fought enough. It's time to end it. I wasn't one of the people that was overly mad about this. I thought it was really, I thought, because I didn't see the smile when it happened, because we were there and I had my camera looking down on that situation. I was looking down on the ring. I wasn't looking up on the big screen. So I didn't see the smile until I came home and watched it on Peacock, and seeing that smile, I was just like, wow, that's the most poetic final act of a retirement match that I've seen in my wrestling fandom career. It's what else can you ask for from that? And it was amazing, and it needed to happen, because what does Cena gain from a win when he's going out the door? What does he gain from a win? Nothing. He gains nothing. What does Walter gain from doing what he said he was going to do and tapping out the man who only tapped out 4 times in his entire career, the first time in over a decade? Nuclear heel heat, and the point of needing extra security to get out of the building because people were pelting him with shit outside of Capital One Arena, which I don't appreciate, because this ain't the territories. We don't do that stupid shit. Yeah. There's being a fan, and then there's taking it too far. And right there, people took it way too fucking far. There's one thing to verbally abuse the moment and verbally abuse Triple H, because all of them can take it. Walter can take it too, but it's another thing when you're throwing shit at people where some innocent person could get hit, they could get hurt, and things like that, all because you didn't like the result. I didn't appreciate that. I wasn't a fan of that, and that's why I can't with the wrestling fans anymore, because I'm just tired of them being so fucking emotional and so fucking moody and so fucking bitchy about any and everything. This was the best finish you could have asked for this matchup, outside of him passing out and getting the 3 from the arm, and that's it, which you almost got, but he held his arm up with that up. I love that you had that moment, that he still never gave up there. He never, he fought back. You got to see some of his moves of doom. You got a little bit of everything in the final match, which is what you want. And then the other guy just overpowers him, and having someone like Gunther just on your back and crushing you down, and the neck chops when you're already beaten down. Be hard for anybody to take it.
It's for me. It was just interesting because I agree with you. You know, I was a little bummed too, and I know that people paid a lot of money to be there, and I think that a lot of people were just they thought they were going to get to see his last win, and so it's hard. It's a tough thing to take when it wasn't that. But I agree. The story and reading the stories after the fact, it makes a lot more sense to go out this way, especially because he's got a Legends contract and he's coming back and he's doing other stuff with them. You know, you want to put over somebody big in the industry if you're going to still be around. If he was literally riding off in the sunset and doing movies and never doing anything with WWE again, then maybe going out with a win would maybe make more sense. But, like, I think you do right by the company if you're going to stay in the company, kind of
the
thing.
The bottom line is that John Cena has always lived by the belief of leaving the business better than he left it. That's bottom line. And what better way than to give nuclear super heat to a man who at one point was getting cheered for by people, but here now there's no way people are going to cheer him now because he's the man that tapped out John Cena in his final match. There's no way.
And retired Goldberg in the same year.
Exactly. Even though people don't give a shit about the Goldberg match was ass. This match was a lot better. This match was a whole lot better and produced a much more emotionally charged result than him beating Goldberg or and whatnot. I thought that's basically long and short. It was a well done. It was well done. It was well executed. Yes, there were some parts of this retirement tour that had made a lot of questionable booking, like Cena's short-lived heel turn, how it was executed, how it went down, how the pieces that were supposed to be part of it suddenly were not a part of it. And then the sudden subsequent face turn back to a baby face, which I called. I knew at Survivor Series SummerSlam, that shit wasn't gonna last. I knew eventually it's going to be like, okay, we need to take him back babyface because everybody, even though he's being an asshole heel, people are cheering him again. So we need to go with that towards the tail end. And I knew that was going to happen. And there it is. It happened. And, you know, like I said, there's been hit and misses on this road, but I honestly feel like the big hit was the finish to this retirement match. And for DC to shit on it the way that it did, chant bullshit.
I know it sucks. DC was a really good. I thought they were really good fans throughout the night, though. I thought they showed out and made me proud. From coming from DC,
they were good until Cena versus Walter, and then we got multiple asshole chants towards Walter. We got multiple "fuck you, Gunther" chants. By the way, there were hundreds of kids in that audience hearing this, but it was loud as hell. "Fuck you, Gunther." And then, of course, you got the one holy shit chant on the spot where he ate him through the table. And then, of course, you got multiple "this is awesome" chants. So they were pretty tamed for most of the show until it got there. And then as Walter had the advantage, they've cranked it up. Like I said, dropping four letter bombs on him with a bunch of kids there. It was like, I was like, okay, yeah, feels like an ECW crowd. It's crazy. But like I said, when they chanted bullshit at the end, and you could see the look on John Cena's face, like he felt proud of that masterpiece that he created to end off his career. And DC shitted on it like it was like they just had a laxative and went into the bath and had a laxative and like a big bag of Taco Bell about the shit that they put on that finish. It was ridiculous.
Was the plan always? I mean, you gotta have to turn him face at the end, right, for his thing. But I know it happened a little faster. But there was never a situation where he was a heel going into the final match, and they would have had to have a face and put them over, right?
No. There was never. I don't think there was any plans in place by the brain trust of Triple H and them that saw Cena coming into this matchup as the undoubted baby, like a monster heel against a young baby face that would win to send Cena home. He just was getting way too much. That's why SummerSlam he made the turn, and that's why he ended up going the way that he went towards the tail end.
Did you think Gunther was always the plan from the very beginning? Yeah.
Yes, he was. He was the plan for majority of 2025. He was the plan. That's why when they did the tournament, and as soon as I saw he was in the tournament, I said, okay, so the rumors are true. Walter's going to be the one that wins the tournament and be the one that beats Cena. Because Cena's a traditionalist. He believes that you put somebody over and go out on your back when you're retired, because what is a win going to do for you except stroke your ego and make you feel good that you won on the last matchup? Anybody who has that mentality,
he already feels like his whole career is a bonus. He never thought he would even get to these heights, you know.
Exactly. He never thought when he first joined wrestling in WWE in 2001. He had his WWE had his eye on him in 2001, and he joined OVW and came up as the prototype. He never thought that when he made his debut in June of 2002 that he would see what would be most likely a first ballot Hall of Fame career. He ain't even gonna wait. They ain't even gonna wait. They're not gonna wait. They're gonna most likely put him in the Hall of Fame next year with Stephanie. Him and Stephanie are gonna be in, along with hopefully Psycho Sid or Sid Justice or Sid Vicious and one other person, most likely a legacy act or a celebrity act, and that's gonna be your Hall of Fame class for 2026. But I think it's headlined by Cena and co-headlined by Cena and Stephanie, because Stephanie had a lot of input and a lot of involvement in this show, not just talking to Jackie Redmond during the pre-show, but also talking with Joe Test during certain break periods and things like that. So I think that they're most likely angling for Cena to join Stephanie in the Hall of Fame in 2026. They're not going to wait. That's the same thing that happened with Eddie Guerrero when he passed in 2005. Literally the very next year, 2006, he was posthumously inducted into the Hall of Fame. They didn't wait 1, 2, 3 years. They literally did it several months after he had been found dead in his hotel room. He was put into the Hall of Fame. So I think that Cena is going to go into the Hall of Fame literally next year, and it's going to be well deserved. The man won 17 world titles. No other person has that many world championships in their resume. Ric Flair's the closest at 16. But
and now has the Grand Slam, because of this run. So
exactly, he got the Grand Slam, winning the IC title, even though that didn't last very long. But still, he's a Grand Slam champion. He's a 17-time former world champion. He's done everything you could ask for of someone in this industry. And so I would be highly surprised if he's not inducted into the Hall of Fame literally in 2026, unless he himself stands up to them and says, "Don't put me in now. Wait till next year." Right. I think that's the only way he doesn't get in next year with Stephanie, though, because he'll stand up and say, "Not this year, next year," especially because earlier that year, on January 4th, 2026, Tanahashi retires as well. And there's going to be a big focus on that as well. Tanahashi retiring, and the rest of the world's going to be really, really focused on that. And so that's going to be another big news story that's going to be fun to talk about once we return from our break. Is Tanahashi's retirement on January 4th with Wrestle Kingdom 20, which is sold out for the first time in almost 6 years. Nearly 50,000. Looks like it's going to be north of 50,000 people attending for this event, and I can't wait to check it out. It's going to be on a Sunday, so I'll be home, and I'll most likely either watch it live or I'll watch it on demand when I wake up. But either way, this event, outside of the bullshit that happened at the end, was absolutely fantastic. And if I caught something from someone that I came in contact with at that arena, fuck you, but it was worth it because I had a blast. I walked away being able to get a shirt for Jess and a shirt for Junior to go with the Christmas gifts he's already got. And I was able to get a new belt to go with the two that I already have here. Nice. And it was worth to go. And yes, I took Metro, which was great because I didn't have to worry about anything, but it was great. It was fantastic to be there. It was great to actually check out the pre-show for a bit before I got inside. And then really just enjoy the atmosphere, enjoy the fandom, enjoy the fact that this is not only the highest grossing WWE arena event in North America, but this is also the highest grossing event in Capital One history. And then I thought about it and said, well, I mean, nosebleed tickets were $400. So of course it's going to be the highest grossing fucking show because you had to pay $400 just to sit in the 400 section. And guess what? There was hardly an empty seat in the house. As soon as the show stopped,
They said that only 5 seats weren't sold in the whole entire arena. So like,
yeah, 19. It was over 19,000 in that filled that arena up, and I'm not surprised because even though the tickets were extremely expensive, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity to see one of the greatest of this generation finish off his career on his terms.
And the rest of the card was great too. You know, I watched
Absolutely.
the whole card. I don't always do that for Saturday Night Main Event, but it was a great card. I'll definitely break that down with Sith in a second.
Yeah.
But
the card was fantastic. Oba and Cody opening the show was absolutely fantastic.
I just wish we could have gotten a result. We knew that Drew was going to ruin it.
Drew was going to get involved, and he did. I predicted that he was going to get involved to help Oba win, or he was going to get involved to give Cody the DQ victory, which ended up being the second option. And then he ended up trying to get the smoke from Oba Femi. And I said it to the people that were in the suite with us. I said, Oba Femi is the only grown ass man I know that can wear fur around his arms. You can't say shit to him because he's so big. I'm dead fucking serious. Like, that's the only grown ass man I know that can wear that kind of shit. And guess what? You gotta ride with it because he's built like a brick shit house. And I'm pretty sure if he chops you one time, he's gonna collapse your lung. Anyway,
he kind of reminds me of somebody from Wakanda. You know, just that sort of like, you know, that big, overpowering, just the superhero.
But that was fun. Bailey Soul. I actually watched Bailey Soul on Peacock because that's when I took the time to go because the tickets that we had for the suite were through Monumental and not the Ticketmaster. So there wasn't a way to send one of them to my phone so that way I could get back into the suite. So we had to take my friend's dad's phone with the tickets on them. So that way we could get downstairs, go to the merch place, get some merch, and then get back upstairs. And so I watched Soul and Bailey on Peacock Live, even though it was like a significant delay. It was like a 10-second delay between the match that was going on in front of us and then going on Peacock. But I got to see Sol Ruka get a well-deserved W over Bailey. Javon and Leon, they just two flashy, high-flying kids who have such a bright future, and neither one of them are eligible to drink yet. They're still a year away from that, but they have done so much in the short period of time they've been in wrestling. And AJ and Dragon Lee, it was funny, and the camera didn't catch that, but I caught it on mine, and you'll see it on the vlog. When Dragon Lee comes out and gets down on one knee, AJ, I don't know if he missed the cue or what, but AJ literally had to run out and then get into a stand. Didn't even have his belt on. He had to rush. He had to rush out to get into position to do his gimmick and whatnot, and then go out. And you can see he didn't have his belt on, but they brought it out ringside during the match because they gave it to him during the matchup. But I think the best moment of this show was the entrances for the main event. As soon as the lights went out and the first couple notes of Walter's theme hit, the entire crowd just absolutely rained down boos, and it was nonstop. By the time that man's spotlight hit him and he walked, it was just boo, boo, boo. And then they made everybody wait about 20, 30 seconds after Walter's music ended. They waited about 20, 30 seconds to kind of build the anticipation. Everybody's chanting, "Let's go Cena. No, Cena sucks. Cena, Cena, Cena." All that. They were chanting all kinds of things that had to do with Cena that were positive. And then the lights go out again, and then they did the gimmick like he did when he was heel, but people still cheered. And then as soon as it turned to the color, explosion. And then you could hear everybody singing the hook to his song. Everybody was singing because everybody knows it by now. They've heard it for the last 20 odd years, so everybody knows it by now. You heard that. It was great to watch the big screen to see him dap up Michelle McCool, RVD, Elias, Mark Henry, Kurt Angle, Trish Stratus, E Torres,
Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Ming. That was really awesome to see that type of legendary status, this legendary people in the building for his last matchup, and it really added to what was an absolutely amazing evening. And like I said, if I had to do it all over again, I would definitely go again. Even especially if I knew I was going to get sick like this, I'd still go, because you just, as a 30-plus year wrestling fan, you don't get the opportunity to watch someone that you basically grew up with watching.
Had you ever gotten to see Cena do a match live before?
Yes. A couple times. I've actually seen him live a couple times back in the 2000s and 2010s. Well, mostly in the 2000s before I took a short break from wrestling. But I did get to watch him perform live when they did come to Verizon, when it was Verizon Center, now Capital One, and it was great. But
did he win any of those matches? Do you remember?
I don't remember off the top of my head. I just know that it was Survivor Series. I think Taboo Tuesday or something like that, where it was like people vote and you get to pick your match and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't remember, but I just know that I've seen him live in living color before. Yeah. So this wasn't nothing new. It was such a unique
No, it's situation. Cool. I was curious, because, it was a cool opportunity. And, well, Champ, I want to be mindful of your time because you're not feeling well. I just want to give your quick 1-minute elevator pitch of beating the Giants, and then we'll get you out of here.
Fuck the Giants. Anyway, I told you last week, I don't care about draft picks. I don't care about easier schedule. I want to beat the fucking division. And we have 3 division games left. I want to go 4-0 to finish off the season. And we've already started 1-0, ending an 8-game losing streak and making sure that the Giants know they are our bitch.
And I know, it's the first time we've beaten them 4 times in a row since the early 90s. So
exactly. So now they know that they are our bitch. And now Dallas is going to realize that ass whooping we took earlier this season don't mean shit because we're going to take them down too. And then the Eagles, who are the only team to have a chance at the division, we're going to play spoiler. We're going to play spoiler. That's the long and the short of it.
So it's crazy that if we won all 4 of them and went 5-1 in the division, we still couldn't win the division. That would be
that's crazy, but right. I would be fine with that.
And Coach, I think would be fine. DQ said it in the post game. He said we're starting our little tournament. I couldn't remember what he called it, but it's something basically like he's doing a division tournament and he's just going to try to knock them all out. So he's just making up his own thing to get his players all amped, because he knows that the other thing is out.
You got to, like, even though you're not in the playoffs, you're not going to be in the postseason, you can still go out there and make a statement going into next season. You're not going to have JD5 the final 3 games of the season. They're shutting them down for the season. It's Mariota's team for the rest of the season. Your running game is starting to pick up steam with Krosky Merritt, McNichols, and all them. The passing game is getting a little bit better now that you have McLaurin and Debo in there. Though Noah Brown did return, but then went out with another injury. Hopefully he's healthy because then that really shores up your pass game when you have those 3 threats out there. I think, again, this is going to be a situation where it's not about having a better draft pick because who gives a shit? Is what you need for next season going to be available at such a high draft pick? There's no guarantee of that. You know what I'm saying? So why would you play your way into a better draft pick if your needs don't call for having a top 10 draft pick? Then what's the fucking point of having a top 10 draft pick unless you're going to use it as capital to trade backwards and get more draft picks, at which point, okay, cool. But again, don't give a shit about draft picks right now. All I care about is this team winning against the division to close out the season. So that way, leave no doubt, make sure that people know that when it's 2026, Washington Commanders are coming back with a vengeance. Point blank period.
Yeah, so just for people to know the upcoming games, the next one is going to be that Saturday game, 5 o'clock national TV on Fox, Eagles, Commanders, and then week 17, we play on Thursday. It's a Christmas game. It's the Cowboys' 3rd Thursday game of the year. This one is on the NFL. Why does it say NFL X? What is that? I don't even know what that means.
I think it's going to be on Netflix.
Oh,
it's going to be on It's going to be on Netflix.
Oh yeah, that is what that means. Netflix. I just never seen
all the Christmas games are going to be on Netflix this year, which is crazy. But yeah. I got Netflix, so it's all good.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, we are the 1 o'clock game. There is a 4 o'clock game. Lions. It's funny that Lions and Cowboys are now on Thanksgiving and Christmas. So anyway, so that's the next game, and then we play obviously the Eagles in Week 18. That's gonna be a 1:00 game. It could have been flexed, but it was unflexed because we are not doing so hot at 4 and 10. Anyway, so that's what we got coming. But Ken, I want you to go, Russ. I'll talk to Sith for a little bit, and I'm so thankful that you got to join and be a part of it, and I'm happy that we were able to build your saga up over the last couple of weeks, as your journey solidified, and I'm happy that it went so well for you.
Yes, I'm really happy I got to go, and then now I get sick. I begin my new job today, and I go into the office for the first time tomorrow. I'm hopeful that I feel a little bit better when I wake up tomorrow, so I can go into the office. So that way I can get going with
But maybe mask up.
Yeah, no, that's definitely what's gonna happen. I'm gonna have a mask and everything like that because they found they found me a place to sit there. So there's no point in me just them doing that and then I don't show up unless I'm like extremely sick. At which point then I'll be like, yeah, I can't even get out of bed right now. I have to work from home. But if I can get out of bed and I feel enough, I feel well enough.
When you get a chance, do that flu test. I'm telling you, it could be a life changer. Because I had the flu, I thought I had COVID, but it was good to know. Anyway, I hope that you feel better. We'll definitely see you in 2 weeks. Definitely, everyone check out the No Spots podcast. Both last week's episode was great, a 3-hour banger. I definitely enjoyed, and then previewing and leading up to this main event, and then next week will be a banger as well. And then I'm excited that you're doing a vlog, so that way you can keep some of these memories forever. I can't wait to see even more footage. Thanks for sharing the pre-cut with us that we got to sort of debut some of that footage tonight. And hopefully the Commanders have a good rest of their season, and we'll talk to you the day after that last Eagles game in a couple of weeks.
I can't wait. And of course, our last episode of 2025 will be this Sunday. Episode 313. We'll recap Saturday night's main event. I'm sure Sith will remind everybody about it at the end. But thank you guys. I'm going to go back and lay back down and probably go to sleep. But thank you guys for having me. And I'll see you guys in a couple weeks.
Yeah, sounds good. I hope you feel better soon, man. Yeah, thank you again for coming on. And I know they're not feeling well, so thank you so much for being a part of it. And Seth, I appreciate your being so willing to give us a couple extra minutes here and help fill in. But yeah, give me your thoughts on the card, the whole thing, and then we'll talk a little bit of football, and then I'll let you go, and then I'll go solo at the end talking about the upcoming week for football.
Yeah. All in all, this is the best Saturday night's main event since they started the retro reboot last year on NBC.
Mm-hmm.
And if you were to ask me which was better, this or Goldberg's last match card, definitely this one. Goldberg's last match, here's how crazy that was. They ran up against an AEW event that afternoon. It was all in Texas. And all in Texas, which went into the first hour of Saturday night's main event, was a better card than Goldberg's retirement show. And I remember that weekend clearly because WWE had 3 events that weekend. You had NXT with the Great American Bash. Then that night you had Saturday night's main event, Goldberg's last match. Then you had Evolution 2 with the women on Sunday night. And when I take a look back at that weekend, Evolution 2 and NXT were better than Saturday night's main event. If you're gauging WWE shows, still an AEW beat them all. So when you sit down and you watch this card all the way through for Saturday night's main event this past Saturday night, Cody versus Alma had a logical closing point. And if you're Drew McIntyre, you've got big problems. You've got Cody Rhodes. Then, when you're done with that, if he's healthy, you have Jacob Fatu gunning for you. And then when he gets up to the main roster, sooner rather than later, you can feel the Fetty coming down your neck. he's got a murderer's row right there waiting for him. So they did a really excellent job in building up stories to go through. And I think the no contest actually works great because you didn't want Oba losing in his first shot on the main roster on a major level against Cody Rhodes. But you also didn't want Cody Rhodes losing. So no contest. Okay, cool. You get to Bailey versus Ulrika, and that was actually a really good match. And the thing that Champ and I alluded to didn't happen, but they're building that out a bit, which is good to have, Zarya turn on Solruka. Bailey being the ring general that I say she is, Bailey being that leader is not hurt by the pin. And you saw the aftermath of that backstage on Raw tonight in a really, really good way. So that worked out really, really well. You get to the tag team match, and although it was the shortest match of the night, if I remember correctly, AJ and Dragon Lee still made sure that Javon and Leon looked like $1 million. And I posted in our group chat earlier, Bully Ray said this yesterday on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. Remember how Obi-Wan Kenobi dies in Star Wars?
Sadly,
he has that smile on his face because he knows that his death is for the greater good, because someone else is going to be for the greater good that's going to defeat Darth Vader, defeat the dark side.
Yeah.
That smile, that smirk.
Who do you think is going to be the guy
saying, I'm passing it down to this next generation. It is time.
So who's going to be the Gunther Slayer? Who do you think that they're building up to be the?
Got nuclear heat in Hershey tonight.
Yeah, but who do you think that they're building him up, and who's going to take him out? Do you have a feeling? Some people were saying Braun Breaker, but some thought that he's not big enough to do it.
No. I wanted, if you weren't going to do NXT, which I really wish it could have been, I wanted a Braun Breaker to do it because he'd be passing a generational torch over, and imagine the heel heat he would get before going up against CM Punk. But having Walter Gunther, in hindsight, makes perfect logical sense, because if you see how he interacted with AJ after he got kicked out of the arena for the night, he taunts AJ, kind of like, I've retired 2 people. You're saying you're retiring at WrestleMania. I got my eye on you, type deal. So overall, Saturday night's main event was really, really awesome.
He's like Thanos collecting rings, right? Or gemstones.
You've got people collecting titles. Well, guess what? Walter's collecting retirements.
Right. Exactly. No, it was good. It was a good story. After I got over the initial shock of it, I think that it was the right decision. I understand how emotional DC fans can get, especially ones paying $400 plus, for nosebleed. It's a tough sell to be like, I spent all that money to watch him lose. But I think overall, great story. I'm so happy for Champ. Really loved you guys breaking it down live. If people missed that, they can go check out the Facebook page. I thought that you both did a great job. The emotional, the comedy, the emotions. I felt a little bit of it all. It was its own little soap opera. Yeah. So
some of my best reactions when I get back from a movie.
Yeah.
Or when I watch a movie that day and then doing a reaction that night.
Yeah.
And then we go to yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a little Harry Doyle reference from Major League. Well, in case you haven't noticed, the Commanders, after losing for 2 straight months, they pulled off a win against the Midgets.
Mm-hmm.
And it felt good. Yeah. And I agree with Champ. At this point, I want us to finish 4-0. I want us to wrap up division, just beat them.
Yeah.
We're not going to make it to the postseason. That's fine. If you can't beat them, join them. Might as well beat Philly this weekend, ruin Dallas's Christmas, finish off strong against Philly. Because, like what I've said the last several weeks, right now, we are in evaluation mode for the people that are going to be free agents. And you have some assistant coaches that are working on trying to keep their spot over here as well. So right now, you're in evaluation process. And that's very important to know as opposed to just saying, well, lose out. Well, okay, but our needs are not in the top 10. Our need, yeah, we could trade back. So my challenge for the team is this: play a full 60, leave nothing on the field. I would love for us to finish 4-0. But if we play with our heads up high and make it out there and we play a full 60 and leave it all on the field, job well done. That's all I ask for.
Right, I agree. I'm so happy they're putting JD5 up on the shelf, and
yeah,
we need a better offensive line. He's getting injured too much. It's not worth the risk of a future asset. And people are like already questioning whether or not it was a good move. I was like, well, last year when there weren't injuries around him, it looked pretty good. So let's save him for another time where we have a easier schedule with less injuries in front of him. I don't know. Yeah, I feel like you're not going to learn a lot.
The front office called up Dan Quinn and said shut him down for the year.
Right, especially against division rivals, because you know that Dallas and Philly are just going to gun for him, so that way future years they don't have to deal with him, right? So they're going to feast on him. So take him out of the equation then. And Mariota is a very serviceable, backup quarterback. So I liked what we've seen from him. Miami just did score a touchdown. They're trying to go for the 2-point conversion here, and no good. So they still find themselves down 13 points with 2:32 left in this game, which is disappointing. I'm trying to hope for the Ravens to make a miraculous comeback to end the series. They will play the Steelers the very last game of the season, but the Steelers get to still play the Browns and the Lions, where the Ravens have to play a very tough Green Bay team coming up here and a very tough New England team. So definitely the harder road for Baltimore there.
You're going to love what I have to tell you, as well as your audience here. I've seen 65 movies this year. 65 new releases. The big question is, I have 7 movies at the top that are fighting for the top 5.
Mm-hmm.
Top 5 worst are pretty much including 2 January movies. One of which went direct to Paramount Plus, which, I'm a Star Trek fan. Section 31 broke my heart so badly that it almost made Star Trek 5 look good.
Oh, no.
And but I am currently mapping out my top 5 lists for those as we speak, and on The Basement, as well as on Spotify now and Apple Podcasts as well. The last episode of The Basement went live yesterday. Stephen King ranking from Carrie through The Running Man.
Mm-hmm.
It includes both versions of Salem's Lot. Did not do Return to Salem's Lot because I hated that. And I was like, I'm not going to bury Salem's Lot like this when you have a mini series and a direct HBO Max movie that was actually pretty fucking good. The remake of Salem's Lot, I thought, wasn't as good as the miniseries, but it was still serviceable. It did some things that were really, really good. Not as good as it could be, but, I don't get why Warner Brothers kept it on the shelf for 2 years. I'm questioning that after seeing it. I'm like, why'd you keep this on the shelf?
Wow, onside kick attempt there. Bounced off of one of the Pittsburgh players. but right to another Pittsburgh player. But like there was an opportunity there. That was one of the better onside kicks I've seen in a while.
Your quote from Dumb and Dumber. So you mean to tell me there's a chance?
Right. Well, there was one, and now there's not. So they do have all three of their timeouts. It's still 2:30 left. I guess technically there is possible, but yeah, this is looking unfortunate.
I want to wish you and your family a happy Hanukkah.
Thank you so much.
Keep bringing the socks to the kids. Uncle Seth says so.
Yeah. Make sure their feet are warm.
I know they're getting other stuff besides socks, but I like that little gag of them getting socks going
every night. Yeah.
Mom.
Yeah, every night they're gonna have. They're like, no, not more socks, but then they get something else too.
Yeah, but then we get something else.
Right.
But those of us like myself, Merry Christmas.
Yes.
Our friends,
we celebrate both, so because of Liz. So, but Merry Christmas to you and to everybody. Thank you so much for all the holiday cheer that you guys have all brought me all year long, and for everybody that has been a part of the show. From Janaea earlier to Anna and to Gil, and then you and Champ, especially Champ gutting it out for the show. I really appreciate that.
Hope he feels better. I hate having even if it's just a cold, and not the flu or COVID, it still knocks the wind out of you. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah, man.
I remember when I had the last nasty cold I had was in 2013 when Whitney died, God rest her soul. And I remember being in here watching movies on my Fire Stick and just thinking, what? Come on, I've got to find better movies to watch than this. It seems like whenever I get sick, I watch bad movies in the hope that it gets out of my system quicker because I'm watching movies that are just absolutely awful. Or like one time when I had a really bad cold in October a few years ago, I went through some of the worst horror movies and I watched Halloween 5. And I'm like, why am I putting myself through Halloween 5 knowing that I hate this movie?
That's crazy.
But anyway, I wish everyone the best. I might be here on the 5th. I'm not sure yet. We'll have to,
Yeah, we'll definitely do it. And then thanks to Tim and Arun. I know they've been big parts of the show all year long. I know that they were unfortunately not able to make this show.
What I put in the group chat when the Orioles picked up, I think it was a Pete Alonso from the Mets. And the Mets fans are like, that clip from Goodfellas where Jimmy finds out that Tommy got wet.
Yeah, it's I love that group chat. It makes me very happy all week long.
For those who don't know, there's this part in Goodfellas where Tommy gets whacked and Jimmy finds out in a payphone that Tommy he thought was going to get made, and given that he was Irish Italian, he couldn't get made. So the way Jimmy thought, he and Henry were getting made, and then goes to the phone. Yeah, man. Some man, and he's gone. And I know the story behind that because of a friend of mine, Jeff Canarsie, who until early next year runs Bob Talk Radio. Yeah, Tommy screwed up. He killed a made guy. You don't do that.
Yeah. Real quickly,
they got that part right in Goodfellas that if you go after a made guy, you better have permission. There better be a reason. Tommy broke both of those rules, and hence.
Yeah. That's a good movie. Just so people know, 2:14 left. All the timeouts are gone by Miami, but they're getting the ball back. So,
Go for the sidelines.
Yeah, so this is a punt, and did he? Wow, what a play by the Steelers to down it on the 1 yard line. So it was one of those balls that were end over end, so the guy stepped away from it, and the Pittsburgh guy did a great job of running down the field and batting it back towards the field of play, and before his momentum took him into the end zone, but made sure not to touch it, and a second guy touches it down on the 1.5 yard line. So spectacular play.
Liz and the family, safe travels. Look forward to seeing y'all's vlogs. That's going to be fun.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
To Cancun again, which is going to be pretty cool.
Oh, nice.
No, I wish you guys safe
Oh,
travels.
thank you. Yeah,
On
no,
your
it's
trip.
sorry, Grand Cayman. So, but yeah,
Cayman.
yeah. But yeah, no, thank you so much. I'm looking forward to that as well. Well, we'll let you go. I'm going to go through the week that was in football. I didn't do so hot comparative to my father-in-law, who's now taking a 2-game lead.
Tommy's
in
awesome,
the
though. We like Tommy, though.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
good.
Tommy's crushing it. It'll be fun to make picks alongside of him for 2 weeks. Yeah, be looking over his shoulder, especially for the last couple of weeks of this little tournament we're doing. It's been fun to do it all season long. So I will do the gimmick right after this. But Sith, thank you so much for your time as always and your extra 35 minutes with me. I appreciate more than you know, and we will definitely talk to you in the new year.
All right, guys, take it easy, be well, and be safe, everyone. We'll see you.
All right, and with that, definitely go check out Sith in the Basement and the No Spots podcast. Links are always in the description. Also, you can find all the links on SportsOTHP.com, which has everything that you need to know. It's got the podcast partners button where you can get Sith and Champ's information there, and then you can also get the No Spot. The podcast partners button will get the No Spots podcast on there, as well as the Power Play Point podcast. And then I'm going to add Janae's podcast soon on there and update in the 2026 calendar. I'm going to put C4, which I wish her a happy holidays as well. Thank you for being a part of this show in 2025. And so I'm going to definitely have her and Janaea up on the page in the new year. That's my New Year's resolution for myself. So yeah, we're going to go through the gimmick real fast. We're going to talk about the games that were last week real fast. We're not going to break it down with anybody, obviously, but we will talk about it. Let me see if I can get my share screen up correctly. And we're going to take this and make me a little bit bigger. All right. So, again, as I was talking, Tommy is now winning the tournament so far. Has 2 more wins than I do. I got 10 wins on the week. I only got 8. Benson moved up into a tie with me for second place. He had been leading for a lot of the season, actually. So let's just go through my picks real quick. I was wrong about the Buccaneers-Falcons. They were up for a lot of that game. The Falcons came back and were able to win that one to the surprise of many. Browns-Bears went according to what I thought. Oops, sorry, we're on the... Wait, hold on. Yeah, sorry, I picked wrong on this one. So the Ravens, I'd been picking the Ravens every week, and they had been losing a lot of those games, so I thought I would hedge my bet emotionally, which is what my dad always taught me to do. So I picked against them, which I'm happy that it worked out for the Ravens, but obviously losing that game hurt me a lot in the standings. I also thought the Patriots were going to beat the Bills, and this is the big game that Tommy and I saw differently. And yeah, with that one, I really thought the Patriots were going to win. They were winning for a lot of that game. The Bills had an incredible comeback and saved any chance they had for the division for this. Ended up winning 35-31 in that. Sorry. We got an emotional hedge bet again. I picked the Giants because I was trying to hopefully get us a win. It worked. We won 29-21 in a very good game. It was very close in the first half until a big return for a touchdown, and then we were able to score again and score 9 points right before the half. Kind of changed momentum in that game. Eagles crushed the Raiders 31-0. Texans beat the Cardinals, to be expected, 40-20. Got the Jaguars beating the Jets 48-20, also to be expected. The Chargers knocked the Chiefs out of the playoffs and become the first team in a long time to sweep the Chiefs in a season series. They're now 10-4, and the Chiefs are now done. Patrick Mahomes also got a torn, I think it was an ACL, so he's out for the rest of the season. I mean, their season was already done either way, but hopefully he feels better. It's weird because the same sort of thing happened to Tom Brady, where he won 3 Super Bowls and then tore his leg after losing to a NFC team in the Super Bowl the year before. So it's weird that all happened. And then Tom Brady won 3 Super Bowls after that. So it'll be interesting to see how Kansas City comes back from this setback going forward. We got the Broncos, who can't stop losing. They play the Green Bay Packers in what was thought to be one of the best games of the week, but the Broncos kind of handled the Packers pretty well. We got the Panthers losing to the New Orleans Saints. Kind of a crazy thing in the sense that the Saints, they got their 4th win of the season. The Panthers had kind of had the division all wrapped up if they could get a win here. Not really, but would have made a huge progress for them, especially because you've got Tampa Bay, right on their heels. But the Panthers did lose that one in New Orleans, unfortunately, 17-20 for them. 49ers beat the Titans to be expected, 37-24. We had Phillips Rivers coming back and playing for the Indianapolis Colts. They played a great game, even though they had just signed him, out of retirement, and he basically had practiced with the team for a week, not even. The fact they only lost this game by 2 in Seattle, which is a tough place to play, who now has 11 wins in the season. I thought it was a very admirable effort. They still have a slight chance to make the playoffs at 8-6. We got the Lions and the Rams. I picked the Lions because I thought they needed this win because they're in a tough division, but the Rams took care of business. They got their 11th win of the season. We got the Cowboys and the Vikings. The Vikings dealt a really big blow to the Cowboys' playoff hopes with this one. And then, unfortunately, the Pittsburgh Steelers just were able to beat 28-15 in that one. So that's now just become a final here live. It's their 23rd straight home win on Monday Night Football for the Steelers, which is crazy because we actually were one of those teams in this podcast that was in that 23 wins. So crazy stuff for the Steelers on Monday Night Football. It's almost like a guaranteed win. Looking ahead to Week 16, we're going to do this super fast. We got 2 11-win teams in the Los Angeles Rams and the Seattle Seahawks. This is a tough one to pick. I'm going to pick the Rams just because the Seahawks just won at home, but man, the Seahawks are a dangerous team to play at home. We got the Commanders and the Eagles. I'll do the emotional hedge again and pick the Eagles. We got the Bears and the Packers. The Packers need this win for the playoffs for hopes. This will be a Saturday night 8 o'clock game. The Eagles Commanders will be a Saturday night, again Saturday, late afternoon, 5 o'clock start in Washington. I'm going to pick the Bears in this one, but this is going to be tough, mostly because they just Green Bay lost one of their great defensive players to an ACL injury in Micah Parsons, and we've got the Bills and the Browns in the next one. I'm going to pick the Bills in this one because they're trying to catch New England for the division. We got Chargers and Cowboys. The Cowboys need this win for any chance in making the playoffs, but I'm still going to take the Chargers. They've been looking so much better. We got the Chiefs and the Titans. I'm going to pick the Chiefs even without their quarterback. The Titans just look pretty bad this year, and you know that they're going to be angry, and they're going to want to still try to get above 500 there. We got the battle of 2 horrible teams, the Jets at 3-11 and the New Orleans Saints at 4-10. I'm going to take the Saints at home over the Jets, but both are really bad teams. And now we got a battle of a bad Vikings team who just knocked off the Cowboys versus a Giants team that's 2-12 at this point. I think the Giants are going to try to tank for that number 1 seed. There's not a whole lot left to play for. So I'm going to take the Vikings in that one. We got the Buccaneers and the Panthers, both 7-7. This could be for the division. This is a tough one. I'm going to take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but the Panthers have played well all season, so it wouldn't surprise me if they're able to do it. But this is probably one of the games of the week right there on Sunday at 1 o'clock game. Got Bengals and Dolphins. Bengals are 4-10. Dolphins are 6-7. Both teams are out of the playoffs. I do think that now that Miami has nothing to play for, it's going to... Cincinnati is going to win this game. We got Denver Broncos and Jacksonville Jaguars. Denver's at 12 wins. Jacksonville's at 10 wins. The Mile High Stadium, Denver's been playing really, really well. I'm going to give them the victory there. But again, the Jags have come to play all season long, so it wouldn't surprise me. The Cardinals have been pretty bad all season. They've underperformed, and then we got the Atlanta Falcons, who seem to surprise teams and come away with victories. I'm going to take the Atlanta Falcons in that one. We got the Steelers and the Lions. The Lions, I think, really need this win to have a chance to make the playoffs. I'm going to take them. The Steelers also, are in a tough situation, but they play the Browns the following week, so they've got a little bit more wiggle room than the Ravens do. So it'll be interesting to see how that squares out. The Raiders are terrible. The Texans have come on strong to end the season. I'm going to take the Texans there. We got the Ravens and the Patriots. The Patriots are one of the best teams in the league. This game is flexed to that Sunday night spot. I'm going to take the New England Patriots in this one. They're trying to get that divisional crown all sewed up, but hopefully it's an emotional hedge, and hopefully the Ravens win. And then next Monday night, I know that we won't be on, but if you want to watch, you got the 49ers versus a quarterback who was retired just a week ago, but the Colts need this win to make the playoffs. But I think the 49ers will be too much in that one. So that is going to be my pick there. But I do hope the Colts win. That would be an interesting story, for Rivers. But I hope the 49ers win also, just for Anna Knox's sake. But anyway, interesting stuff all around. Those are my quick picks. Not doing anything super long or drawn out today. I forgot. I was going to do one other thing. We are going to talk about the Wizards real fast before we get out of here tonight. The Wizards' first game there was a big break for the Wizards because of the NBA Cup. But they did play on Friday, and they did play yesterday as well. Their game before against the Hawks, they just got blown out. That was the last game before the break. In the Cavaliers game, it was interesting. The Cavaliers were up 35-24 at the end of one. The Wizards outscored them 36-27 and 2. In the third period, the Wizards outscored them 40-23 to take a pretty big lead. And then they allowed Cleveland to score 45 points in the fourth quarter and win by 4. So they had to outscore them by 19 points. Right, so 26-45 to beat them by 4 points. That shows what an epic collapse the Wizards had in that one. Fortunately, the next game against the Pacers, they were able to hold on. It was a really close. The Indiana Pacers outscored them 32-31 in the first. But then the Wizards held the Pacers to only 15 points in the second quarter while putting up 27, held them to 19 points in the third. So back-to-back quarters where they held them to less than 20 and scored over 20, where they scored 23 in that one. And then were able to outscore them 27-23 in the fourth quarter. Although it looked like Indiana was coming back for a time there, so they were able to hold on for the victory, 108-89 in that game for our fourth win. So they're 4-20. They're 4-20 right now. So an interesting game for sure. With Bagley getting 23 and 14, and it was well played, and I'm happy they got the win. Hard to get too excited about a Wizards team that already has 20 losses. The Indiana Pacers also have 20 losses, but they have 6 wins. So a win is a win, and we'll celebrate it where we can. They play the Hornets on Tuesday. They play the Raptors on Friday. They play the Grizzlies on Sunday, with the Hornets being the road game again tomorrow. Wait, hold on. Is that right? Sorry. No, I was too far ahead. On Thursday, they play the Spurs in out west. Then they play the Grizzlies on Saturday. And then on Sunday, they have a back-to-back where they play the Spurs again, but this time in Washington. And then they go back on the road on Tuesday. This is where they play the Hornets. And then on Friday, they play the Raptors in Washington. The Grizzlies come to Washington on Sunday, the 28th. And then they play the next day on Monday. It's still at home, but against the Suns. And then they go to Milwaukee on the 31st. They have the first off. And on the 2nd, they'll play the Nets. On the 4th, they'll play the Timberwolves. Both those games are at home. And then we'll be back on the 5th. And if they can get any wins or some wins in that, we will talk about those wins when we return. But I just want to thank everyone for tuning in to this podcast. I know it wasn't anything too crazy to write home about, but I really thank Champ for coming on and gutting out that performance, especially with being sick. I'm happy he had a good time at the big wrestling match. It was fun to build up all that. It's cool that wrestling and DC sports got to collide in sports and entertainment. I know a lot of people are like, why do you talk about it on your show? It's not like sports in the traditional sense. But I really appreciate the passion that Champ and Sith have for it. And definitely check out the No Spots podcast. If you haven't, they do a great job over there. And definitely check out The Basement. Thanks to Arun and Tim for all their support in the DMV podcast or DMV Sports Talk second hour. I really appreciate them for being a part of this show, even if they weren't tonight. Thanks to all of the people that have been a part of the Capitals group all season long for this fall special. This is our fall finale. Again, we'll be back on the 5th. We'll have live hockey to cover. We'll have Anna and Gil back. I'm sure that we will have Champ back, and then maybe either Sith or Tim or Arun as well. Plus, we'll have C4 returning. C4 had a great time at the Hockey Hall of Fame this past weekend, so that's awesome for her. I wish all of you guys, anybody listening to this, whether it be on YouTube or Facebook or Twitch or Kick or any other platform, a wonderful Merry Christmas. And if you celebrate Hanukkah like I do, I hope that you are having a wonderful Hanukkah and any sort of celebration with family and friends. I hope that you have a great holiday season. We'll be back in 2 weeks. When we come back, we'll have a lot to talk about, a lot to break down. We'll break down the last weeks for all of our sports teams and briefly talk about the weeks prior to that as well. It'll be fun. That'll start our winter, which is our last season of season 10. We do a spring, a fall, and a winter. And then at the end of that, we will do it. A couple of upcoming things, news and notes to talk about. Obviously, we'll have playoffs. We'll talk about the end of the Commander season, but we'll go through the NFL playoffs in the winter season. We'll obviously talk Capitals and Wizards as well. We're going to celebrate our 400th podcast coming up. Well, the road to 400 is in full effect. We've got 5 episodes left here. This was 395. We got 396, 798, 99, and then we'll have the big celebration for 400. We also are going to celebrate 10 years of this podcast right around spring break. So we do that as sort of they celebrate the end of the winter season. And then in April, we'll come back and we will do our normal, we'll have season 11. We'll celebrate baseball returning. We'll also celebrate the return of the champions that are the DC Defenders. Sorry. I was trying to think of Valor, but that was a long time ago. But it's cool. We've gotten in 10 season to talk about a bunch of champions. We got the Valor, the Defenders. We've also talked about the Capitals, the Nationals, and the Mystics as well. So thank you everyone for being a part of these 10 seasons. I look forward to breaking down Ovechkin in this run towards the next playoffs and possibly his last season playing in the NHL. But we will see, and we'll see how many more seasons we go on this show. But I really appreciate all the support over all these years. And again, if you ever need to contact me, you can always do through on Facebook, Instagram, SportsOTHP.com has all the links for all the social media. I hope that you follow the YouTube channel if you'd like to see scuba documentaries and other family documentaries over the next 2 weeks. I'm also thinking about starting my own scuba channel. That would be separate. So more to come on that if I end up doing that, just because they get often suppressed on my main channel, and people have suggested that I move those over to their own channel. So I might do that with this upcoming documentary. Hope that you guys, again, have a wonderful holidays. And with that, I don't think we're going to raid tonight. Let me just sort of see who's on, just to see if there's anybody that stands out that I really want to do. With that, I think that we are going to just end it there. And thank you again for everyone for being a part of it. And we will talk to you guys in the new year. Also, if you want to check out, I did a Pokemon podcast, or Pokemon play video that is on all the VODs and on my YouTube as well. If you want to see that, I've been playing Pokemon Legends ZA. There'll be more Pokemon playing in the new year. Also more art streams and video editing streams along with the podcast as well. Again, thank you everyone for the support. It was really cool to see how many people watch the show. Over 700 hours of watch time just on Twitch, and I really appreciate all of the support that we got on Twitch this year and all the support on the replays and all that stuff as well. So thank you again to everybody, and again, I'll talk to you on any of those different platforms, whether it be Instagram or Facebook, until we return. But hopefully you guys all have a wonderful holiday season, and we'll talk to you in the new year.